Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to be going over some of the changes in the balanced data slate and the Munitorum field manual. I'm just going to be looking at the Sisters of Battle one right here, probably Tau, a little bit of guard, and anything else I really have a lot of understanding of. So the Zephyrman squad getting sustained hits and lethals on the charge on its melee weapons is pretty good. It's just going to make it even to a better melee blender. So hopefully we see more of these sisters in the future. Retributor squads, they're getting a reroll hit of 1 when they're targeting something, and they're getting add 1 to the hit roll if that target killed something in that turn, or I don't think it's turn, it's just destroyed during the battle. So it's going to be a huge damage increase on Retributors, I think. Being able to reroll a hit roll of 1 or add a hit roll, add 1 to the hit roll is going to be pretty good. I don't see how these units don't get taken more unless they got massive points changes, but they probably got cheaper, to be honest. Champions of Faith attachment's huge. That change is going to make it a lot better, because one of the big problems of Champions of Faith was getting models to be righteous. Sorry, not models, units to be righteous. Now you just pick 3 every turn. So you just pick the 3 that are going to be the hardest to get, and then the other ones that you can't just always have. So it's going to be massive changes. I don't really know AdMech. I'm pretty sure this is just adding to your Castellan robots. I could be wrong. And then this one looks like it's just going to give Castellan robots Halo override keyword. That's pretty good, because they didn't have it before, but it is what it is. It looks like they just added Doctrine of Imperatives to these guys, so that's also good. So they're really trying to make Castellan robots played, so that's okay, I guess. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's probably going to be some good changes for AdMech. Eldari, this is probably the big one. Nerfing this. The devoted in any ad was just way overperforming, and this is a pretty big change. I think you didn't even need to be within 6, so and I'm pretty sure that the movement got nerfed, so let's just take a look just to be safe. Come on, go back to the top. Why aren't you working? Long spell, Dari. I'm pretty sure they could just be anywhere on the field, and then you just did it. And now being within 6 is a pretty big change. And then I'm pretty sure it's just make a normal move, so you could have like a 12-inch move. So Warhost, Spirit Conclave, nope. Attachment rule goes to the webway. Devoted in, yeah, here we go. With 4 or more units we have, you could just select anywhere and then make a normal move, which is huge. That's a huge nerf, because you can't just move 12 anymore. You just get D6 plus 1, and it's not even a guaranteed 6. It's just D6 plus 1. So you basically effectively halved the movement some of these models would have, and it's only Yannari infantry or mounted. I believe it just says any on this one. So let's see. Yep, any Yannari unit. So that's huge. It's just gutted, which was needed. This thing was insane. You have Rain. I'm pretty sure she got hits and wound rolls. Now it's just wound rolls of 1. So that's a huge change. We go to Astra Militarum. Lord Solar can finally tell Bane Blades what to do again, which is huge. I don't know why they took it out in the Codex. It was a kind of a big nerf for Titanic models. They didn't really deserve that, but you know, now we're back to being normal. So I think Lord Solar is just going to be, if you ever take a Titanic model, you're taking Lord Solar. So that's probably going to be the standard. So casual players rejoice. You can finally bring your Bane Blades to your friends' games. I don't know if you're going to be taking any Bane Blade variants tournaments, but you might, now that you can order them again. Blood Angels, I don't know how important this is, but I was looking at it beforehand, and I think it's just going to be good for, I believe, Blood Angels, Death Company Dreadnoughts, and just Death Company in general. So they're going to be, you can just have a character run up with them within 6 inches, or even attached to them, and now they're just going to be, now they actually can fall back and do all those things. But to be honest, I don't know if you're outside of just charging them forward with Death Company were really meant to do anything else. But that's good for people that actually want to use Death Company, but I don't think people are taking them anyways. So it's kind of a big problem, because for the most part, the standard Blood Angels army was the Bloodless Angels thing, and then they changed that a bit. So next changes, it's pretty much nothing else here. Scintillating Legion attachment, I'm pretty sure that was a 2, now it's a 1. Good for them. No changes on that. Demon Prince, so I'm pretty sure every of the mono god demon princes from the like World Eaters, Death Guard, Emperor's Children, they all had loan off when you're within 3, so they're just making it so that the standard demon prince for Chaos Marines was fine. They've just completely buffed the Lord Discordant completely. This is just a massive change to everything. He's got pretty much a new melee profile, so I'm pretty sure that's either 1 or 2 more attacks, a couple pips of strength, more AP, and another damage. So that's just gonna be a huge damage increase there. Spirit Thief at the start of your shooting phase. Actually, let's actually make it even easier to look at. Let's just go straight to the old profile, because I don't actually know the old profile because he wasn't that good. It's probably gonna be some like Chaos Space Marine players that are like, oh my god, how do you not know this? Because I know in previous editions he was a big juicy boy. Let's see, Impaler, Chain Glaive. Yep, he gets an extra attack, 2 more strength, 1 more AP, 1 more damage on the Chain Glaive. And if we go over to here, so now at the start of your shooting phase, select one visible enemy within 12 of this model rolled, and then he just does mortals to vehicles whenever he sees them. That's gonna be huge. And then I believe he's gonna be moved. He gets 4 more move. That's huge, because he is riding on a thing, and then invulnerable saves to a 4+ instead of a 5. So he's gonna be a lot tankier. He's gonna be a lot faster. He's gonna do a little more damage on the charge, and he just basically has a smite instead of leadership check on a vehicle, so that's pretty huge. It's like 1 visible enemy unit until the end, and I'm pretty sure, let's see, yeah, that's just they got rid of the 12-inch restriction, so that's just going to be you pick a vehicle, all of your Heretic Astartes models now get rerolled wound roll. Yeah, this thing just got massively buffed. Vashtor basically got reworked, it seems. He's just better overall. Like, they added devastating wounds to his sweep profile, so I'm pretty sure the sweep into vehicles might just be better. I could be wrong though, because that's like 4 more attacks I think on the sweep, so he's going to be hitting pretty hard. And then add 2 to the strength character's weapons. Yeah, he's just completely buffed. That break point of add 2 strength, probably 1 strength before. That's just massive damage increase on Vashtor. Okay, Lionel Johnson got a rework too. He can now uppy downy, which is huge. That's uppy downy with Lionel Johnson's gonna kind of be nuts. He's just gonna pop up, and then I think he's just now the super stealth suit from Tau, which is just huge. And now he's even harder to kill. I wonder if this stacks with the new detachment. So it probably doesn't, but now he's even better from outside of the new detachment. So Reaper's Wager, that's huge. If you're winning the wager, you now get a reroll hit of 1, and then if you're losing, you still get the big benefit. So that's going to make them even stronger. Let's just make the whole army stronger, which is good, because I'm pretty sure the new Tyranid detachment is just everyone in the army, everyone in the detachment gets reroll hit rolls of 1. So Reaper's Wager should be fine. Makes a range attack. So that's just when you're in the hallowed ground detachment, you just get some big more damage. So now ranged attacks and melee attacks get reroll hit rolls of 1 if you're targeting something. That's good. No changes to knights, no changes. Looks like Gene Stealer cults. Oh no, you get some more points for you get like cheaper resurgent points, or that might have been, it's either going down or up on resurgent points, so that's okay. Nothing too major there. Maybe it is major. I'm not a Gene Stealer cults player. This is pretty big for the broke here, because he you couldn't throw him into a vehicle because of his because of the rest of his squad with another unit. So he's basically impossible to stuff into something smaller than, I think, what the hell is it called? The one with the big gun on it, and it's not the little vehicle, it's the big boy. Same thing with the Grimnir, so they're just making it so that they can be stuffed into vehicles, which is good, which is a good change. You know, they probably shouldn't. Probably the biggest change I've seen today, though, is the orcs being able to declare a charge after advancing or falling back is huge. Death Killer War Trikes with a 6-man squad of orc war bikers and declare in charge. I think there's a stratagem that gives them even more easier, like +1 to wound or something on the charge. I forget exactly what the stratagem is, but yeah, speed freaks are going to be on the menu, back on the menu pretty big. Once per battle for each bomb squid the unit has. So if you have multiple bomb squids, you can now do multiple of the bomb squid runs, which is good. Okay. Space Marines. Okay, nothing up. Marnius Calgar. Yep. Marnius Calgar got touched. Yeah, this is a big nerf, because now you can't have him and Gilliman in the same list and have Marnius Calgar do stuff. Now he's just a beat stick if you take Gilliman, which isn't too bad, but he's probably completely gutted. So now you either get Marnius Calgar or you get Gilliman, which is a huge change. I'm assuming they've made some major changes to them. Once per battle round, when a unit from your army uses this ability. Okay. I don't know. So this is Gilliman, right? This is part of Gilliman's. Yep. So it's, you don't get it just every single turn. Just keep farming 0 CP stratagems. Now you have to actually pay. Now you have to pick which ones you get to reduce it by 1. So that's pretty big. That's a big nerf, because I don't think there was a restriction there. It might have been like once per phase or something, but now it's once per battle round. It's a huge nerf. Okay, so here comes to what I actually know a lot of, and that's Tau Empire. So this is actually a big change for the greater good. So previously it was much worse. You just pick 2 units and then only one of them would get the benefit. Now, if we read it. If your army faction is Tau Empire, at the start of your shooting phase, you can select units from your army with this ability to become observers. So pretty similar to the beginning, but you know, now it's just select units to be your observer units, not just select pairs. For each observer unit that is eligible to shoot, still has an exclusion for fortification and battle shock units, which is kind of bad. You know, why I understand the battle shock, but why the fortification? Select one enemy unit that is visible to be marked as their spotted unit until the end of the phase. So you just pick, using, say, like a Pathfinder or stealth suit, you pick out a unit, and I believe what the saying is your whole army, if we go to units from your army, excluding observer units or guided units, while targeting 1 or more spotted units. So you just pick a guy, your Pathfinder says, shoot that guy, your entire army says, you bet. And everyone gets that +1 ballistic skill and ignores cover. For like the same things. Big problem though, it still has for the greater good restriction. But another thing that's not there is they removed the Titanic exemption. So now, not Titanic, split fire penalty. So now you can actually split fire, and if I'm reading this right, if you have, say, 2 Pathfinders, and one Pathfinder targets at Canis Rex, and the other Pathfinder targets Armigers, right? If you have a Storm Surge, you can shoot into both and get increased ballistic skill on both. So not only do they get rid of the split fire penalty, they actually made it so it's easier to split fire if you have more observer units. And now you've seen Marker Light, so if you, say, have a crisis team that you have with a marker drone, because you're not taking max shield drones, you're grabbing either a gun drone or a marker drone, and you have them guide for a Storm Surge in the late game, and then you still somehow have a Pathfinder squad guiding in another guy, your Storm Surge now is just going to be extremely efficient, which is good. And it looks like because they changed that, they got to change pretty much everything. This is they just gutted Kalyan. Like no argument there. Still has the 3rd turn restriction, so you're getting sustained hits 1. You don't even have an army rule until the detachment rule until the 3rd battle round, and it's just sustained hits 1. Orcs get that and more DACA for the entire game. We still have to wait 3 turns to even get that, and it's kind of nuts. And then when you're guided, you now ignore ballistic skill character modifiers to hit or ballistic skill, which is good, but like the big boy units like riptides and broadsides and stuff, we're already ignoring those, so it is what it is. Through Unity Devastation, it looks like the same thing, where they have to update it, and it's been updated so that instead of just when you guide somebody, it's a guided unit, which is good. Still has to lead a unit though, so you can't just slap this on a Fireside Marksman and just try to go the cheapest route. So you're still paying a massive tax, and once we see, I got to see how much it costs from the points changes, but this is a huge buff. Same thing with fear coordinated exploitation, same thing. So these were pretty good in that. I think the nerf to Calyon losing sustains too is a huge nerf, I think. Fireside team, so it's going to be easier for you to actually get precise targeting. I think they should have just changed him from a damage dealer to just a spotter, so they could just have 3 dedicated spotters like this. Stealth suits are pretty good now. They're still the best spotting unit in the game for Tau. Pathfinders are fun now, so instead of getting the double spot, you now can do more damage. I don't know how good that is. I think the double spot would have been better with the new army rule, but I think this is actually kind of a nerf to Pathfinders, because the double spot would actually be so much better than this. But now you get to shoot with your rail rifles on like a 3+ ballistic skill, so that could be pretty interesting. They still don't have assault on their pulse carbines, while drone pulse carbines have assault, so that could be a problem. I don't know Tyranids that much. So let's see, Hive Tyrant, Wing Tyrant with a Hive Mind once per battle round. One model from your army uses big stick the friendly Tyranids to the 12 and that. So they just made it so that it's once per battle round. So if you have multiple of Hive Tyrants, you can't just keep getting more reductions. That might be the same thing here. This might be for captains. This might not even be Gilliman's. This is probably a captain. So if you have multiple captains, you don't get reductions, and you don't get multiple CP reductions. So there's a restriction now. So taking multiple captains to get multiple reductions might not be worth it. Psychophage got more movement, probably either move 10 or 8. So it's either got +2 or +4 move. That's pretty good. In your shooting phase, after this model shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks till the end of the turn. Each time a friendly Tyranids unit makes a melee attack that targets that enemy, prove the armor penetration creature with attack by 1. The same enemy unit can only be affected with this ability once per turn. So if you shoot at something, you get higher AP. This could be really interesting. And he gets smoke because he's billowing smoke. And then his profile gets more attacks. He's probably sitting at 4, so now he's got 2. He probably had 1 AP, now he's got 2, or even at 0. So yeah, he got buffed a bit. That's a lot of damage, to be honest. I don't know if it would have been better on if this should have been done to different units, but definitely good for him. If you weren't running psychophages, you might have a reason to run them now. Because you can just shoot this. You can just shoot this into something, and now you like the new Raveners charge in, and now they get an extra AP. So that's going to be pretty big. Okay, so I think that's everything. Yeah, it looks like that's everything in the balanced data slate. Good changes, I think. Some effectively, no, some certain people weren't touched at all. Which, like my big thing is, why did his Imperial agents not have an army rule? But maybe next time for them. If you're an Imperial agents player, my heart goes out to you, man. So let's go in here. Oh, too much. Yeah, that's fine. Devasauritas, pretty much, yeah. Retributors are getting reduced in squat. 10-point reduction. You're gonna take them a lot now, I think. I think they're just really good. Repentia going down in points. They pretty much were never taken because you take Arcoflagellants instead. Being able to take, I still think they're not like 170 versus 140. It's kind of there, but you can take them at 5 mans, so that could be interesting. Or 5 ladies. Castigators down 10. I think it's only because you have an Armiger Warglaive, and there's an argument for Armiger Warglaives that are just better than Castigators, because they're, I think that at the before this update they were 30 points cheaper, now they're only 20. So it's like, okay, instead of not, you could basically, if you took 2 Armigers instead of 2 Castigators, you could effectively get like another squad, like a Palatine or something. No changes on the enhancements. They still got pretty cheap chips enhancements. Immolators down 10, that's good. Immolators just good. Junith Eureka being back down points, that's actually pretty big, because some of the lists I've been seeing coming out of Sisters players that have been doing well, they've been taking her, so that's pretty huge. Triumph going down is good because it got a huge amount of points increases, and now it's going down a bit because it wasn't that good. Seraphim went down. I think that's just because they're trying to, I don't know why they went down specifically. I would have assumed they would have brought down the Zephyrim, but that's just me. Paragon Horse is going down. You take 3 of them always with Morbid Vol for the most part. It's almost auto include for every list now, and now it's cheaper, so that's good. Yeah, I think Penitent Hosts and Bringers of Flame are probably gonna have a good time, and pretty much any detachment or list that takes, Triumph is always going to be good. So good changes for Sisters. I can see them going back to being from like a lower mid tier to a high mid tier army now with these changes, especially with the balance changes. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens with them. Custodes, Alaris going down. That's probably because there's like a question. I think there was a argument going on where Alaris Custodians are basically just weaker Death Shroud. So looks like they got dropped a bit. So interesting stuff. Admech. How could you do this? How do you make Iron Striders cheaper? Like, I get it. I get why you did it. Sidonian, yep. But these, oh my gosh. Okay, so if you everyone probably already knows, if you're an Admech player, Iron Strider Battlestar, you take them in 9. You take 9 of them. Every list, doesn't matter what list it is, you slot in 9. Problem is, each one of them's like $60 or like $60-$70, right? So that's like it's almost 6 times 9. You're getting like a 500 plus. Obviously I can't quick math, but you're spending over like $400 for 9 models, and that's not good. And now it's even cheaper, so that's a huge bummer. I'm pretty sure they're actually 1 point per dollar now. I could be wrong. Might be a little. They might be $60 for one instead of 70, but there might be some inflationary things there. So yeah, if you're an Agri player, you're happy because that's 15. So that's, if you're taking 9 on, it's a 45 point reduction. It's huge. Scorpius Disintegrator. I don't know if people were taking Scorpius Disintegrators. I thought they might. If you were taking them, you're happy. Same thing with Sidonian. So I'm assuming they're just reducing the cost of these, and then this goes down by 15 points. So this must be a horrible enhancement if they dropped it by 15. If they dropped it by half. No changes to Titans, no problem. Yep. So these got buffed a bit. Okay. Shining Spheres got buffed. Yep. No one was taking them. Autark gets nerfed. No, big whoop. Yep. Warlock Conflict. So pretty much all the things that were good in the Devoted Divinity ad got hit, and the other things that weren't didn't go down. Fire Prism, I don't know if people were taking them. They might have. So it's a good change. You're incentivized to do it, because like you kind of look at it between a squad of fire dragons or a Fire Prism, which one's better at taking care of things, and people were saying it was Fire Dragons, so now they're trying to incentivize you to take a Fire Prism. Yep. Who would have thought the 3 best things in a Devoted Divinity ad list got hit pretty hard? Who would have thought? So yeah, just keep going down. So yeah, Eldari got hit pretty hard. They're probably going to drop a bit. Astra Militarum. Bulgrim got cheaper. That's always good. Bulgrim, we need a melee mid-board army in Astra Militarum. Leland Rust going up, that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Torux went up. Yep. Aquilons went down. I remember when people were complaining that they were too cheap, and now they're going back down. Ursula Kree got hit. Yeah, she's probably too good. I don't know why they did this. The Death Court change. I understand 20-man squads with like a lot of defensive bonuses, and like healing are annoying to shift, but they're T3 models and they're not doing that much damage. Their whole purpose is just to exist, and most armies could just pick them up easily anyways, is what it is. 120 points for 10 Death Rider models is actually interesting. I think that they're priced more effectively to what they should have been. I could, let's see, because they do pretty much no damage. Where's the Till and Rough Riders? How much are they? Yeah, so they're the same. They're basically like, you can either take Death Riders, which do less, but they have more. I think they have Infiltrate, or you take it Till Rough Riders, who I think have Scout. So it's and they're the same coins. So that's interesting. Very interesting stuff. The Lehman Russ battle tank, I'm pretty sure got nerfed because where's the Rogodorn tank commander? Because this guy exists, and you just take, all these guys with the Rogodorn, and you don't take the normal tank commander, because the normal tank commander is like, why do I take a normal tank commander when I can just take a better version of the tank commander? And it sucks, because like, oh, here's the Lehman Russ commander for 235, 30 points more, I get a Dorn. And you're just asking that question is the Lehman Russ commander better than a Rogodorn? And the question is no, the Rogodorn is vastly superior. No changes to any of the enhancements, so I like the way they're at right now. Black Templars are a good change. I like these. Just, they're trying to incentivize you to play Black Templars units. So what do? They just lower the price of everything. Oh, well, back in the day, big Primaris Crusader squads were pretty strong. Well, let's reduce it by 10 points, see what happens. Huge. High Marshal Helbrecht being 120 points, he's pretty good now. Same thing with Grimaldus, Sword Brethren going down 30 points for that big 10 man. That's good. I think you're going to see Black Templars just with these changes. I really do. I think they're gonna appear out of nowhere, and they're just gonna, if there's a large army of like, if there's a 20-man death core squad, and these guys rock up, they're just gonna mulch them. So we're definitely gonna be, I think we're gonna see more Black Templars. I think it's gonna be pretty good for them. Okay. Yep. No one's taking any of the Blood Angels units. So what do? We reduce all their points by a lot. So the Black Rage being changed on Death Company, so that's a little better. I think you're gonna see them more. I don't know if it's gonna be enough, but I think Bloodless Angels might not be a thing anymore. Just with these point changes, you might actually see people take Blood Angels stuff, which is good. Yeah, Nurglings. You gotta hit Nurglings. I think they're just really good for what they are. So, 35 points for 3 models with I think it was like 3 wounds each. Just these random idiots that could just pop up with Deep Strike, or like Infiltrate or whatever. I don't know the exact. I just know they're really good. I don't even every time you see Nurglings, you're just like, oh, great, Nurglings. Slaughterthirst going down 10 points must not have been good, is what it is. Shadow Legion, yep, Shadow Legion was probably the best demon stuff, the best demon detachment, and now you got some nerfs to it, so that's good. 15 and 10, so just these were obviously the best two, so going down there. Knights, nothing, they're going to Codex soon, there's no point in changing them. Okay, so we got Belgor and Traitor Enforcers going down in points. So pretty sure this is the Commissar and Bulgrin that can attach to Traitor Guard, so that's kind of neat. I don't know if it's going to do anything because it's 10 points. They're still kind of, basically you're effectively taking 55 points for an Ogrin, so it is what it is. If you're doing like a full Traitor Guard list, that could be fun. Master of Possession going down 10 points. You're probably going to see more of him. Chaos Lord jump pack. The thing with the jump pack, Chaos Astartes guys, so they're kind of competing against Assault Intercessors and the Captains and jump packs. And when you have to compete with those guys are pretty efficient. So hopefully this is going to bring them more in line, at least the Chaos Lord. Dark Apostle going down 10 points. So yeah, these are just like some, reducing things that are probably way overcosted, because like if they weren't way overcosted, they'd only be dropping them by 5. A 10 point is probably needed. I don't know too much about it, but I definitely think that these, like the Chaos Lord jump pack reduction, you're going to see a little bit more, especially like, I know it's kind of memey with the Night Lord attachment, where you've run you have a ton of Raptors and stuff. I'm pretty sure this guy can attach to a Raptor squad or a Warp Talons, so he's going to be fun to use. No changes to the enhancements, that's fine. Dangles, no changes. They did get some Whereas Lionel Johnson got some pretty big changes, so I don't think they're going to reduce his points cost. Death Guard, no changes. I don't know, like I don't know why they didn't touch this at all. Was there a change to them in the balanced data slate? Nope. There must be a change to in a codex errata that I don't know about. I'd have to look that up, but I doubt they're going to leave them alone this balanced data state without doing some big nerfs to them. So they must have had like individual codex changes that were done in an errata. Index Deathwatch is no changes. That's fine. Deathwatch are kind of they're just kind of there. I think they're good. They're just not super amazing. Drukhari, huge changes to Drukhari, to be honest. Then like all their vehicles going down with mandrakes, that's just going to make them overall better, especially like Ravagers and Raiders. I've seen a lot. Like obviously the transports and the Ravager I've seen a lot do in the new Reaper's Wager detachment. I see them taking a lot, so they're definitely going to be huge changes. I can see people taking more Ravagers because Ravagers are like their only anti-tank option, and it's not being, like I remember Ravagers were really good in Ynnari, and then now they're only 100 points, so you take 3 of them I think in every Drukhari list, and I think it's gonna be good. It's only 300 points. Maybe I'm wrong. Yep, Emperor's Children, I have no idea what's going on with them. I know Lucius was pretty good. I know the Demon Prince was nuts. This probably makes sense with the nerfing this and Noise Marines going up, and then all I know is Fulgrim was bad. I haven't played that much against Emperor's Children because they're pretty new, so my local game store, they're still building and stuff like that. But what I do know is the one time I did play against them, Fulgrim was really bad. Atlan Jackal's going down in points. That's pretty huge. It just means you're going to take more, or you can take them. And I think the resurgent points, if it went down a resurgent points instead of up, you're going to see these guys a lot. Brotherhood Champion. So yeah, there's just Grey Knight changes. I know their codex is coming soon, but yep, going down 20 points. I don't know why they were 420 for 10. So now it's just basically, might as well take 10 instead of 2 units of 5. Paladin, same thing. So it looks like they just had it so that the 10-man break, because the 10-man has more efficiency with stratagem use. Other than that, I just don't see it. Nothing for Imperial Agents. I feel bad for these guys. If you were an Imperial Agents enjoyer, you should be mad. This is the way I felt as a Tau player for two updates, and these guys get nothing. You could have dropped something, man. Yeah, you could have literally dropped anything in this detachment. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, as I said, they're getting their codex soon. No points in changing them. Leagues of Votan, no changes. They probably had some like codex changes or something. Necrons, Locust Destroyer for the 1-man going down, that's fine. I think just the single ones are taking a lot. I like the changes to all the Canoptic. That makes Canoptic Court better, obviously. Plasmancer, yep. Illuminator's Arrow, Technomancer, Scorpic Lord going down. He's probably taking a lot. I don't play a lot of Necrons, but stuff like this, like if it's doubling in points costs, it must be good. So let's keep rolling. So this one was the one, I don't know much about orcs, but I can tell you right now I know a lot about their meta lists because they were everywhere. Tank buses going up. Who would have thought a 5-point increase to tank buses was necessary? Trucks going up from 65. Yep, that's pretty good. Zogdrag Wartsnaga. Yep, he's the big. I'm pretty sure he's the big boy on the squig, on the giant squig boy. So you go to here. He went up 10 points, but the unit he attaches to went down 10. So that's gonna be it's kind of a side grade for him. If you take him individually, he's worse, but if you take him in a unit, he's roughly the same. Yep, Luda's the 10-man Luda getting nerfed is, who would have thought? It's like, oh, tank busters, Ludas, and flash kits all getting hit pretty hard. I would have never seen that coming. The Death Copters going down in points. They are Speed Freak, and they have decent melee on a Speed Freak, so they're pretty good for 160 points. I think a 3-man 80-point model on Speed Freaks can muscle pretty much most chaff off of objectives in the midboard, and they're pretty quick with advance and charge now. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be huge changes. Boys going up 10 kind of sucks. You know, I don't know why they did that. I don't know. Lowering pretty much all the buggies by 5 points and some of them 10. One of them 10 looks like, not some. Yep. They now have advance and charge and speed freak, so do that what you will. I think they have like strength 7, AP 1, 2 damage attacks, and there's like 4 of them at weapon skill 3 or 4. I think it's 3. That's pretty big. You know, you're gonna have these random buggies just roll up and just clear out your screens and stuff while shooting you to death. No changes on the enhancements, so it's just hitting the best units and, you know, giving speed freaks a big go. Hold up, no. I don't think Zogrod. Which one? Huh. Zogrod, he might be the Gretchen guy, not the one that attaches into Squig Hogs. I think he's the Gretchen guy. Because he's the one with the pokey stick that makes Super Gretchen or Super Grots. I'm pretty sure I had that mixed up. So yeah, he's the super. I think he's the Super Grot guy. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense because those Super Grots are really annoying. Space Marines, Aggressor Squads, they were way overcosted. 20-point reduction on both. You probably make a 6-man at 200 points again. Probably could have done that, but a 40-point reduction on a 6-man would have been iffy. Heavy Intercessors going down, no one takes them. Hellblasters going down, no one takes them. Capital in the Junk Pack. I think people take this guy. I don't know why it went down in points. Maybe they just want to give like Blood Angel players another alternative after lowering all their points. Smartest Calguard down 10. Yeah, who would have thought? You can't take him with Gilliman anymore. Yeah, reduce his points because he's way overcosted at that point. Ooh, Vanguard Vet's getting a change. That's always fun. Vanguard Vet changes are always nice because you can take them like Stormlands and stuff. That could be fun. Rubik, why is Gilliman getting a points reduction? I get it. You can't take him with Marnius Calgar anymore, and he got a slight change, right? Like, what was his change to Author of Codex? Did he even get a change? Hold up. Where is it? Where are you? Was it last update? Yeah, it was last update they changed the way it worked, but yeah. So yeah, I guess because he can't be played with Marnius Calgar anymore, he can be reduced in points, but I don't know about that. Space Wolves, nothing. They're getting a Codex soon. Yep, here we go. Okay. Yeah, these are points changes. Yeah, Wolfen getting nerfed. I don't know why. I haven't really looked into the Space Wolf stuff, but I think Thunderwolf and Wolfen were actually going to be pretty good. Wolfguard, Saga of the Bold. So something happened there. It must have been overcosted. Yeah, 30 points. I don't know why it would be 30. Enhancements over 20 points. I just don't see the reason to take them unless they're just so brokenly good that you need to take them. Grey Hunters going down. I'm pretty sure those are their basically space their Devastator Marines. I could be wrong. Or those are the Long Fangs, and there's no Long Fangs, so Grey Hunters, they're just going down. Wolf Guards, yep. I'm pretty sure these are like their new Blade Guard equivalent, so that's kind of fun. So you can either just without the wolves, they're like multi-model, multi-toughness units are kind of awkward. Bjorn Fell-Handed, he gets a fun thing. So I guess they didn't like the way Thunderwolves were at right now for 6-mans, and the Wolfen must be crazy. Tau Empire, I don't know why they did this. Look, I get it. The 3-unit devastation's a lot better now, but you need to take a leader, a character, which is like the minimum one. I think is 50 points, right? So that's 90-point Cadre Fireblade, right? And then you got to attach him to a Breacher squad, which is, I believe, 100 points. So it's 190 points just to get this enhancement, right? And 190 points for 3-unit devastation, I don't think is worth it, realistically. And if you're putting this on like a crisis team, it's really not worth it. You know, I don't think you take 3-unit devastation or coordinated exploitation. They're just too expensive. I really don't know why they increased the points. I get it. They didn't want them to be cheap, but they weren't good. Stealth suit change is, I don't know why they did. I understand why they did it, because stealth suits are now just amazing, but effectively the army rule change, in my opinion, is realistically a side grade, because of the change to Pathfinders, right? Pathfinders, like, yeah, you point and shoot, but like for the most part, when you guide something into something, it takes either one or two guides depending on the model. Like if you're shooting like 5 Space Marines with a Pathfinder from a Riptide with an ion cannon, they're gonna get picked up, right? It's only the detachment rules only better for Titanic models or shooting into models that don't die in one round of shooting, which realistically is kind of hard to find, right? So this 20-point increase is insane, right? I could have seen like a 5, but like increasing their points by 30% is nuts. You know, that I think that the changes that we're getting to Tau are going to be extremely counteracted by these points changes. And like, I don't know why they nerf Kroot. Like, I get it. 20 Kroot models are annoying to shift the Kroot hunting pack, but I just don't see them being 140, right? Because there's like what was it, like 120 Poxwalkers was Death Guard. 120 Poxwalkers are just better than Kroot. I mean, sorry, 20 Poxwalkers are just better than Kroot. So it's where's Death Guard? Because the Death Guard got no changes, right? They got no changes unless there's a Codex errata I don't know of right now that I haven't looked through. But where are you? Death Guard. Yeah, look at this. Where is a Poxwalker? 130 points for 20 Poxwalkers versus 140 points for 10 Kroot. And you tell me that Games Workshop knows what they're doing with how. I don't think it's like, oh well, you can bring back in Kroot hunting back, you can bring back 120 man without the Shaper every turn, or you can for 10 points cheaper get 20 Poxwalkers, which are just better than 20 Kroot. Like, I get it, in Kroot hunting pack they have a 5-up invuln, that's it, and then if you have a Shaper they do a little more damage, but I just don't see why they did this. Like these, like I would see Poxwalkers going up 10 points and Kroot staying 130. That would make more sense to me than nerfing Kroot. Luckily, if they hit the 10 man, right? Because you take 10 mans because you need cheap screens in every other detachment other than Kroot hunting pack, and like this is effectively what a 20. You're taking as many 20 man Kroot carnivore squads as you can in Kroot hunting pack. So say you take 3 of them, right? That's a 30-point jump. Or if you take 4, that's a 40-point jump. So you just lose. Where is a Kroot Rider? Where are you? You lose either a unit of Kroot Hounds, or why can't I find why am I missing here? Kroot Rampagers, or you lose a unit. Or you lose one of your. You drop. So if you're taking like 3 units of 3 Kroot Riders for your shooting in your Kroot hunting pack, and you're just doing full Kroot, right? You have now lost effectively 1 Kroot Rider because you're taking 3 units of 20 Kroot Carnivore, so you just lose a Kroot Rider, which isn't that big, but it's still annoying, you know. And then like if you're running Kalyan, you're just getting a 15-point increase through your Denu Station. But you're like, the worst part about Kalyan and Montka was that I don't think anyone takes the enhancements, and now like the one enhancement I think I'd be willing to tank just got uber buffed and uber nerfed at the same time. It's kind of nuts. Psychophage going up 15 points, I get it. They just can basically completely buff this model to insanity. Screamer Killer going down 10 points. It's just too big of a model to be useful, to be honest. Like, the problem is that the base size is smaller than the actual wingspan of the model, making it harder to move it around, so it's a problem. Looks like all the Hive Tyrants swore with down points, probably because no one was taking them. Like, Hive Tyrant going down 30 points, and same with that. Both the Tyrants going down 30 points, and nobody was taking them then. You know, Hive Guard having to go down 20 points, no one's taking them, you know? That's like, you can kind of tell when something like, when you get a major point swing like this, like when Hive Tyrants are 200 points, and nobody took them. So clearly they're trying to figure something out there for Tyranids. No changes to enhancements, world leaders, nothing, because they just came out. So yeah, I think that's it. Overall, some good changes mixed with some crazy ones. Like I don't want, like, if they just left the points cost the same for Tau, I think you'd see major changes. With the army rule changes enough. But yeah, Tau Empire, I think they got better. Only time will tell. I don't think it was enough, but I could definitely see people making a good case for that. But other than that, I think that's everything. I'll probably, if this video does, you know, well, it gets like 10-20 views, that'd be great. If it does well, I'll probably go over the new detachments. I don't really know much about the new detachments, but I can figure it out. and yeah, and I'll probably, if I do that, I'll make a video on the new detachments and probably check if the Death Guard got any changes. They probably did, to be honest, indirectly. Sorry, not indirectly, directly in their Codex FAQ if they got one. But yeah, if you like the content, hit the subscribe button. I should be making more, you know. If you subscribe, it makes me understand that you like my content and I should keep making it. Hit the like button if you like the video. We really appreciate it. Drop a comment if you have any, if I missed something. Probably did, because I don't know much. I know Tau a lot, know a little bit of Sisters, and know a little bit of Guard. You know, everything else I'm kind of just like, I read through the Wikipedia page to learn about it. So yeah, have a great day.